Now it's time to build the bridge. So building the bridge, remember, is just about solving the problem by providing that step-by-step solution. And I know this is going to be easier for some coaches and more difficult for others, and that's okay. This is going to, if it feels difficult, it's going to be that much more impactful for you, I'm certain. So take the time that you need to really come up with those step-by-steps and break down your solutions, right? So that you can communicate it better to your potential coaching clients. So we want to take your coaching client profile from pain to desire in those 3 to 6 steps that it takes to go from one side of the bridge to the other. Again, not being afraid to give it all away. That's okay. Let's come from a place of abundance for sure. So when we go to build the bridge, and so for this example is 4 steps, but if you need to do 5 and 6, totally fine. So if you need to do 3, just, you can stop it at 3, however you want to do it. And really it's just about step 1 is kind of getting those first couple steps going on the bridge to cross it, to get to the other side, which is ultimately the desire that your coaching profile wants, craves, all that kind of stuff. So step 1, an example could be as simple as their step 1 is to share their concerns, right? And then their step 2 could then, once they share their concerns, you can go create a plan on how to solve it. And then step 3, is just simply them accepting the support. It's hard for some people to accept support. And then the 4th one could be to celebrate their success. These are, you can see they're chunked up to be as high as possible so that then you can fill in the rest with what needs to happen with, once you have the step-by-steps, then under that you can have the tools and the methods and the things that you use to help them accomplish that step. Okay. Another one, for example, might be for a business coach, could be step 1 is they need to create business strategies. They don't have any, or they're lacking some. The second step is go take action and implement those strategies. Then the 3rd step could be as simple as creating additional strategies that support that, right? Deeper, more advanced strategies. And then step 4 could be tracking the metrics and making updates and until they have a model that works for them, a business model, right? So that would be another just example that I want to share, but I want you to think of it in terms of your unique coaching business model, your niche. Okay. Another one might be for a health coach or nutrition coach or what have you. But the first step could be to assess their current stage of life. This might be more of a life coaching, actually. Then their second step, to go create the desired goals. People know what they know what they don't want. They don't know what they want. So that's a huge step to go decide what they want. What goals do they want? Then the 3rd step could be to take action to achieve those goals. And that's where you're having your weekly or bi-weekly coaching sessions with them, or what you're doing to help them take action and achieve the goals. And then the 4th step may be to reassess and redefine new goals. So I just want to give you some examples based on different coaching niches. The last one is the health coaching, nutrition coaching, that kind of stuff. The first step, it may be to do a current health intake. That's the first step that needs to happen so we know where they are. Then the second step may be to get those test results translated and communicated back to our client. Then the 3rd step could be they go and make those health changes. And then that's where you're going to support them and guide them along that way, right? And you can notice along these steps, within the steps, they could be customized. However, but the steps themselves don't change. Right? But underneath the how, the what, the where, under the step can be tailored to your client if you want to do that. And then step 4, they would then go retake a test to see how they've improved, right? And then that's going to give them that reason to celebrate and stuff like that. So those are just some examples of how to build the bridge. So notice they're very short and concise. There's going to be space in the workbook where I want you to detail out, and that you can be as long as you want on your steps. And then I'm going to ask you to refine them even more to make them super simple, because, you can have accepts support, right, as a step. and then give more context around that with additional details and whatever. But we want the main points to be easy for you to memorize and be able to share and for people to understand. Okay. So those are some examples of building the bridge. I want to give you some tips to build your step-by-steps as well. The first thing, especially if you're struggling on how to break things down, you might be like, Tara, your brain works like processes and step-by-steps and whatever. It's easier for some people. It's more difficult if people are visual people and creative and whatnot. I just want you to put yourself in your client's shoes. This is something we can all do, no matter how we break things down or how easily we can do it or how challenging it may be. And if it is challenging, reach out for support, right? That's okay. Ultimately, we all know how to put ourselves in our client's shoes and have that empathy and really immerse yourself. This is why I like when your coaching client profile was a early version of maybe who you were, because you know how to do that. You can pop your brain into that. Whatever you need to do, journal it out, think about it. This doesn't have to be done right now. You can sleep on it. This is really important. And once you do it, and if it does feel difficult, then once you do it, everything else is that much easier. I can promise you. So, but I'm going to put an intention out there. This is going to be super easy for you. We know our coaching client profiles and we know how to serve them, and we're going to break down those steps. Okay. So we're going to put yourself in your client's shoes. I want you to immerse yourself in their perspective of where they were, and know that it may seem easy to you now because you figured out the way out. However, put it to where they're lost in their feelings, their experiences, and their belief systems on where they are right now. And then you can tailor your approach to their real world needs, challenges, and their aspirations. So we can do that when we put ourselves in our client's shoes. The second thing is, again, keep it short and keep it simple, super simple and short. Make it easy to understand your steps, both for you, your referral partners, and for your potential clients to remember. We want them to look at your signature coaching method and be like, I can do that. Well, that sounds really simple. Okay, cool. Let's go, right? Then there's no reason that they won't feel overwhelmed, because we won't even get a yes to even have a discovery session or a potential new client if they feel overwhelmed at even taking the first step or understanding where you're going, all right? Then the third thing is to feel inspired to be different. Stand out by providing an innovative, this is a great time to use innovation, have a unique approach, come at it a different way than any other coach does. And I want you to do that in a way that resonates with your distinct coaching style. This is why I believe everyone's coaching model and the way they build their coaching business is not the same. You're unique. We're all unique. But that's also going to be what attracts your coaching client profile to you. So I want you to be inspired to be different. I want you to create a method that sets you apart and really inspires others, because they're like, oh, well, this coach I hadn't thought of that, or that's different than I've heard. That's a good thing. And then last, I want you to get feedback. So actively seek and incorporate feedback from your peers and your clients and potential clients, not friends, family, that kind of stuff, people who have struggled with something and truly either went through it or they're in that space, to make sure that your method always remains impactful and client-centered. It's okay over time that your method evolves. Right now, if this feels like a lot for you, just consider it putting a stake in the ground to get started. And we're going to have something, you can always go back and tailor it, right? But ultimately, if you're struggling, go get feedback. Go ask people who've been in that situation, and start building it out that way. And then once you have it, hey, how does this sound to you? How does this feel? Walk them through what you're thinking. And if they're like, that's great, then you're onto something fantastic. Okay. So I just wanted to share those tips with you because I know sometimes it can feel a little complicated breaking it down, but I know you're going to do a great job with it. And if you are stuck, you can reach out. All right. So up next, we're going to do the final step, which is where it all comes together, because we're going to brand your method.